Okay, so you want to own a hotel. You've stayed in enough of them. You know what a good one looks like. You've done the math on occupancy rates, you've seen the room prices, and you've decided this is a business worth getting into. And you're not wrong. Hotels are one of the most reliably profitable businesses on earth. There's just one problem. The hotel you think you're buying isn't exactly yours. There are roughly 700,000 hotels in the world. Combined, they generate over $1.5 trillion in revenue every year. And yet the actual owners, the people who put up the money, built the building, hired the staff, keep far less of that than you'd expect. Because somewhere between the guest and the owner, there are 3 or 4 other hands in the pot. Brands, booking platforms, management companies, each one taking their cut before the owner sees a dollar. And here's the part that breaks people's brains. Marriott doesn't own most Marriott hotels. Hilton doesn't own most Hilton hotels. In fact, Hilton owns just 3% of its 9,000 properties worldwide. The other 97% belong to private investors, developers, and real estate funds who paid billions to build them, and then handed the keys to Hilton in exchange for a brand name on the sign. Let's talk about what that actually costs, and more importantly, what's left after everyone else gets paid. Say you want to open a Hampton Inn. Mid-range, business traveler, free breakfast. You know the one. To build a new 100-room property from scratch in a mid-sized US city, you're looking at somewhere between $15 million and $22 million. That number covers construction, furniture, fixtures, equipment, and the initial franchise fee, which for Hampton, a Hilton brand, runs $100,000 just to get started. But here's the thing. You don't have to build from scratch. You can buy an existing hotel instead. In 2024, Hampton Inn hotels near major airports were trading at around $241,000 per room. A 250-room property, do the math, that's $60 million before you've changed a single light bulb. And the moment you take ownership of a branded hotel, the clock starts ticking. Because the brand, Hilton, Marriott, IHG, whoever, immediately sends you a document called a Property Improvement Plan, a PIP. It is exactly what it sounds like. A mandatory list of renovations you must complete to bring the property up to current brand standards. New carpets, new furniture, new lobby design, sometimes entirely new systems. As of 2024, PIP costs have risen more than 30% above pre-pandemic levels. A mid-scale hotel, PIP, can run several $1 million, and it's not optional. If you refuse, the brand removes your flag. And a hotel without a brand is a building with beds. So before you've checked in a single guest under your ownership, you may have already spent $5 to $10 million more than the purchase price just to meet someone else's standards. Let's say the renovations are done. Your 150-room hotel is open. Guests are booking. Revenue is coming in. Here's what happens to that revenue. The brand takes its cut first. Marriott charges a 6% royalty fee on gross room revenue. Hilton charges 5% plus a 4% marketing fee on top of that. IHG charges similar numbers. On a hotel doing $5 million in annual room revenue, that's $450,000 to $500,000 gone before you pay a single employee, before utilities, before food costs, before insurance, which in 2024 rose 17% in a single year, just for the right to use the name on the sign. Then there's the management fee. Because most hotel owners don't run the hotel themselves, they hire a professional hotel management company to handle daily operations, staffing, guest services, revenue management, the whole operation. That costs another 3% to 5% of total revenue, sometimes more. So now you're at 12% to 15% of revenue already consumed by fees before labor, food, or maintenance. And then there's the booking problem. In 2025, somewhere between 15% and 30% of hotel bookings come through online travel agencies. Booking.com, Expedia, Hotels.com. These platforms charge commissions that have quietly climbed from around 10% historically to 15% to 30% today on many bookings. So every guest that finds your hotel through Booking.com instead of your direct website costs you up to 30 cents on every dollar they pay. The brands try to fight this with loyalty programs. Marriott Bonvoy has 237 million members. Hilton Honors has 215 million, pushing guests to book direct. But even then, those loyalty members come with their own costs, points that need to be funded, redemptions that eat into margins. Stack it all up. By the time labor, which accounts for 34% of revenue and rose 4.8% in 2024 alone, insurance, utilities, maintenance, franchise fees, management fees, and OTA commissions are accounted for, the average US hotel's net profit margin lands somewhere between 8% and 10%. Some properties in prime locations push 20% or 30%. Most don't. On that $5 million revenue hotel, you're likely looking at $400,000 to $500,000 in annual net profit. To earn back a $15 million investment, that's a 30-year payback if nothing goes wrong. Here's where the story gets genuinely interesting. While hotel owners are scraping together 8% to 10% margins and fighting with booking platforms, Marriott International reported $5.4 billion in gross fee revenues in 2025. Not hotel revenue, fee revenue. The money they collect from people like you for using their name. Marriott owns almost no hotels. They own the brand, the system, the loyalty program, the reservation technology, the standards manual that tells you exactly what thread count your sheets need to be. And for all of that, they collect a percentage of every dollar every franchised hotel earns, whether that hotel is profitable or not. The owner has a bad quarter. Marriott still gets paid. There's a recession. Marriott still gets paid. The roof needs replacing. That's the owner's problem. This is called the asset-light model, and it has made Marriott one of the most efficiently profitable companies in hospitality. While a hotel owner earns 8% to 10% margins grinding through daily operations, Marriott's adjusted EBITDA margin runs at a completely different level. The company grew gross fee revenues 7% in 2024 alone. Hilton trades on a 10-year annualized return that has outperformed most of the market. In fact, if you had taken the $15 million you spent building that Hampton Inn and put it into Hilton stock instead, your returns over the last decade would be hard to justify against the daily operational grind of running an actual hotel. And yet, people do make money owning hotels. Real money. Just not usually the way you'd imagine. Meet Jay Patel. Not a specific person, an archetype, because the American hotel industry has been quietly dominated for decades by a single immigrant community, Gujarati Indians, many with the last name Patel. It's not a joke or a stereotype. It's documented. As of recent estimates, Americans of Indian origin own roughly 60% of all economy and mid-scale hotels in the United States. Combined value, over $700 billion in hotel assets. The pattern is almost always the same. First generation arrives in America, buys a small independent motel, lives on site. The whole family works it. No management company fees, no outside labor where family can cover it. Reinvest everything. Buy a second property. Franchise it under a brand name to get access to the reservation system. Expand. Hand it to the kids. Repeat. This is how you make money in hotels. Not by owning one Marriott and hoping the margins are enough. By owning 10 properties, cutting costs through vertical integration and family operation. Using the brand as a distribution tool rather than a dependency. And compounding slowly over decades. The hotel industry rewards patience and scale. One hotel is a job. 10 hotels is a business. So let's close the loop. You invest $15 million in a 100-room Hampton Inn. Your annual revenue is around $3.5 to $4 million. After franchise fees, management costs, labor, insurance, maintenance, and debt service on the loan you used to build it, you're looking at somewhere between $200,000 and $400,000 in free cash flow per year if things go well. The brand will send you a PIP again in 7 to 10 years. Budget another $2 to $5 million for that. And when you eventually try to sell, the next buyer will face the same PIP obligation, which suppresses what they're willing to pay. Meanwhile, the brand you're paying 10% of your revenue to every year reported record fee revenues in 2025 and is projecting another 7% growth in 2026. Their stock is up. Their pipeline has never been larger. Their debt is someone else's. Their renovations are someone else's problem. Marriott doesn't own hotels. They own the most valuable thing in the hotel business. The reason people book a hotel in a city they've never been to. The name on the app, the points in someone's account, the brand. And that, it turns out, is worth a great deal more than the building underneath it.